Open fire.
I am starting to receive data. How interesting. I would never have guessed that.
Get everything you need?
Not yet. See if you can get a little closer.
Are you crosswired?
Closer, please. Steady, steady. This is intolerable.
You want it closer.
Just a moment. Scan complete.
If you haven't seen the Clone Wars, you may be curious about the droid Ahsoka travels with in her new TV show, Huyang. Or if you have, perhaps you'd like a refresher. In this video, we'll break down the history, design, and unexpected Doctor Who connections of this electronic educator. This video will contain moderate spoilers for the first 3 or 4 episodes of Ahsoka, so watch out. I'm Joey from Radio Free Coruscant, and this is Doctor Huyang. Design. Professor Huyang is a Mark IV architect droid built by a long-forgotten manufacturer. An architect droid is a Class 1 droid made to help design things. In Huyang's case, he was built to help Jedi younglings create their lightsabers and teach them how to use them. A Class 1 droid, also known as a first-degree droid, is a droid that is skilled in physical, mathematical, or medical sciences. Huyang was built in a basic humanoid shape measuring 1.8 meters tall or about 5'11". He had a backpack with 2 additional mechanical arms. He was also equipped with a welding torch and a magnifying glass that could flip down over one of his photoreceptors. These photoreceptors were designed to allow him to blink and emote like organic beings do, a feature not found on contemporary droids. Perhaps people weren't used to having talking, thinking humanoid robots around back then, and this feature helped him step out of the uncanny valley, and as people got used to droids, their manufacturers phased out this mechanism to cut costs. He also possessed 4 holographic lightsaber training wands, though they were not incorporated into his body like the other tools. Finally, his memory bank contained an archive of every lightsaber he ever helped create, and the Jedi associated with it. History.
May I introduce you to architect and lightsaber designer Huyang.
These are them. I swear they get younger every expedition.
Huyang is possibly one of the oldest droids in existence. He was created around 25,020 years before the Battle of Yavin to help train some of the very first Jedi. To put that in perspective, that's roughly as old as the oldest permanent human settlement currently known to archaeologists, Dolní Věstonice, in the Czech Republic. If Star Wars were set in modern-day Earth, Huyang would be older than human habitation of North America, domesticated dogs and pigs, and even war. Huyang is 10,000 years older than the first evidence of human warfare. The prehistoric professor would have watched humans invent staples of human civilization, such as agriculture, metalsmithing, and writing. That's right, he's older than writing too, by about 21,000 years. Despite his advanced age, he still retained 75% of his original parts in 10 ABY. We know next to nothing about his first 24,000 years, but sometime around 1000 BBY, he was assigned to the Jedi training cruiser known as the Crucible, where he would live and instruct younglings for the next 1,000 years. Unfortunately, the Crucible would be destroyed by pirates while on a training exercise during the Clone Wars. Huyang is known to have instructed many significant Jedi throughout the millennia, most notably of which were future Grand Master Yoda and Mace Windu. We don't know if he taught every Jedi throughout history, but it seems likely. One of his most famous adventures was the aforementioned incident in which the Crucible was lost. The professor was taking Jedi younglings Petro, Katuni, Biff, Ganodi, Zat, and Gunji, as well as their supervisors Ahsoka Tano and R2-D2, to the planet Ilum to search for the kyber crystals to put in their lightsabers. The younglings endured a series of trials and challenges in the search for their crystals, and then went on their way back to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Along the way, they were ambushed by Hondo Ohnaka's gang of pirates. Huyang was damaged and partially disassembled during the ensuing battle, but still managed to personally defeat several pirates. After Ahsoka was captured by Hondo, Huyang, R2-D2, and the younglings followed them to the planet Florum, where they managed to rescue her. However, the Crucible was destroyed in their escape. We don't know what happened to Huyang after this, or how he managed to survive Order 66 and the Jedi Purge. Perhaps he was off on another mission at the time and was warned not to return to the Jedi Temple, or maybe he disguised himself as a standard architect droid and worked for some other organization for a time. Personally, I wonder if Ahsoka's T6 shuttle is actually Huyang's ship, since that would very nicely explain where Huyang's been and how Ahsoka got the ship. Hopefully we will get a book or comic that tells this story someday. What we do know is that sometime between 1 BBY, when Ahsoka escaped Malachor via the World Between Worlds, and 9 or 10 ABY, when she began her hunt for Ezra Bridger and Grand Admiral Thrawn, she and Huyang started working together. We don't know what they were up to start with, but later they would travel to the planet Arcana to search ancient Night Sister ruins for a map of ancient Purgil migration routes that might lead them to Thrawn. During this mission, Huyang irritated Ahsoka by parking the shuttle too far away to help her, in compliance with old Jedi protocols. A few days later, he would help train her reluctant Padawan Sabine Wren, who he declared had the weakest connection to the Force he had ever seen and would have been rejected by the Jedi Order. But he encouraged her training nonetheless. Later still, he would analyze Morgan Elsbeth's ship, the Eye of Sion, the Eye of Sion, and present his findings that it would be one of the fastest, longest-ranged starships ever built. As of the time of this writing, that is the latest we know of Huyang's story. Hopefully, the remaining episodes of Ahsoka will continue to feature him as heavily as the first 3, as he has been a standout character so far. Behind the scenes. There are only a couple of behind-the-scenes facts to share about Huyang, but I thought they were interesting enough to include. Huyang first appeared in the Clone Wars Season 5, Episode 7. This youngling's story arc was originally meant to lead into a Clone Wars spin-off about Huyang and the younglings, but this idea was abandoned, and George Lucas sold Lucasfilm and Star Wars to Disney instead. Secondly, the 2022 novel Brotherhood features an Easter egg referencing Huyang's voice actor David Tennant. In this book, Huyang is rumored to have simply shown up at the Jedi Temple one day in a big blue box. This box, of course, is the TARDIS, the time ship flown by David Tennant in his much more famous role as the Doctor in Doctor Who. The TARDIS is disguised as a British police box from the 1960s, hence the blue color. This is because it was flown to 1960s London shortly after the Doctor acquired it, where it disguised itself as a police box and promptly got stuck that way after its chameleon circuit failed. But that's a video for another day. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in a video about the TARDIS sometime, perhaps when the next season of Doctor Who comes out. That's all there is to say about Professor Huyang though, so please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our other Dr. Star Wars content. If you liked this video, share it with a friend who might need a refresher on their Clone Wars lore. Anyway, I'll see you later. RFC out.